Hello, my name is Shayna Van, and this week's class presentation compares the United States versus Russian political systems. We need to know our differences in order to notice the positive aspects that will help both countries cooperate in building a future beyond conflict. Even with our differences, both the United States and Russia have united in the past during World War I and II, of which were critical moments in time where basic and fundamental interests were met. Russia is the largest country in the world and is located in both Asia and Europe, whereas the United States sits safely nestled between Canada and Mexico, occupying nearly half of North America. Immigration has been central to the development of the United States economy, as it was fundamentally built as a democratic country. When Europeans first arrived, the colonization of the American continent was met with mass ethnic extermination of the native population. As a result, produced a culture deeply seated in slavery, while masking it as creating a democratic state built on relationships with one another. In the United States, the administrative structure shares power between the national government and the 50 state governments, separation of powers at the level of national government among legislative, executive, and judicial branches. Every 4 years, the American people elect the president. With that said, the United States is the only country to have an electoral college system with over 270 electoral votes to win, with the intent of this overly complicated system giving states a little more control over the process. As a result, offering more confusion and broken trust in the voting process, with continuous debate over voter fraud and manipulation during previous elections. The president is limited to a 4-year term in office. The cabinet is an advisory group of heads of major federal agencies and other senior officials selected by the president to aid in decision making but carry no formal authority. Essentially, the United States has become a two-party political system with Republican and Democrats holding the charge. Russia comes from a historical past as well. Former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev brought many reforms to communist country, ultimately changing the world. It was under his rule when the USSR fell apart in 1991. The Russian Federation was formed, with Boris Yeltsin becoming the first president of Russia, which adopted a Western-style democracy and introduced the Constitution of 1993. The country is governed by the Constitution of Russian Federation. The Russian Constitution produced a 3-branch government, which includes the President, a Prime Minister, the Duma, and the Constitution Council. Election is conducted through a secret ballot and can hold the presidency for 2 consecutive terms, each term lasting 6 years. Few political parties exist, with most influential being United Russia, which is the current president belongs to. With the branches of government, the president is appointed head of state and the executive branch, making him the most powerful man in Russia. He is also responsible for all domestic and foreign policies while representing Russia in all international affairs. The most recent presidential elections took place March 18, 2018. That is when Putin won the elections, retaining his position for the 2nd consecutive term. The Prime Minister is head of government and heads the cabinet, charged with the responsibilities of domestic and some foreign policies. Should anything happen to the president, the Prime Minister would take over. The Russian cabinet consists of the prime minister, deputy ministers, and federal ministers, which are responsible for drafting and implementing the nation's budget, management of federal property, and foreign policy. In Russia, one of the houses is the Duma, which has 450 members from all Russian regions. The main responsibility is to legislate, comprised of the upper and lower house. With the U.S. Congress, it has a two-house system that consists of a Senate and House of Representatives. Both countries make claims to collective voice, where given current political relationships have proven to be more of an individual idea, making it difficult but not impossible to understand each other in the international area of fundamental cultural, logical differences. Perhaps Russian President Putin made a good point when he was found to say, in reference to the United States, quote, "They are living like parasites off the global economy and their monopoly of the dollar," end quote. Thank you for listening.